Hey everybody, welcome back to our channel and welcome back to another video. So you guys, we're out here in our garden doing garden things, and I just wanted to share some things with you before we jump into a garden video. Before we jump in, I do want to thank our sponsor TEMU for sponsoring today's video. If you are unaware, TEMU is an online marketplace that offers the most competitively priced products in multiple categories. You guys, they have a ton of stuff. They have stuff in women's clothing, home and kitchen, women's curves, kids' fashions, men's clothing, beauty and health, women's shoes, jewelry, accessories, games and toys, electronics, crafts, sewing, patio, lawn and garden. They have pets. They have all types of items on their website. We have purchased from Temu using our own money before. I actually have done several Temu clothing hauls in my reels or my shorts because I've enjoyed buying their clothes. Very reasonable prices. But Temu has reached out to us and asked us if we would be able to share one of their items, and we said we would. So again, thank you so much, Temu, for sponsoring today's video. Temu offers top quality products at ultra affordable prices so everyone can enjoy the convenience and comforts of life. If you are wanting to learn more, you can visit temu.com from your computer, or you can also use the app that they have available. I'm going to share with you what the kids and I were able to get for our garden. Just a couple of things. One of the things that I wanted to share really briefly with you is Temu does have free shipping. Temu does have free shipping. They also have free returns up to 90 days. And if you're a first-time customer, you can use our custom link that'll be down in the description box below for 20% off. Y'all, you know it's garden season, and garden season means that we have got to do stuff in our garden. Well, our garden is almost 5, 6, 7 times the size it was last year, and trying to water has been indeed a challenge or a chore. So I asked if I could get the DIY irrigation system, and they let me do that. So this is the system that the kids and I actually purchased, or that Temu sent us. This is the system that they sent us. And you guys, when we first got this, I thought that this was going to be a challenge to put together. And now I will say it took me a little bit of a learning curve just because I need to get my life together. But here are all the pieces that come with this particular system. We got the Y quick connector. You got tubing. It came with joints. It came with a faucet connector. It also came with quick connector. Then you had nozzles or drippers. You also had Teflon tape. And then it came with a couple of other items: your enclosures, your nozzle tees, your drip tees, and your ground inserters. So we actually got all of these items with what came in our package so that we would be able to put this system in our garden. Now, the system is very easy to use, very user-friendly once you figure out all the pieces. So what you do is measure out how much tubing you're going to need, and then you snip the tube. Once you snip the tube, you're going to put a connector between, and then you're going to decide whether you're going to put a nozzle or a dripper on. We use drippers in our garden because that just worked out better. We didn't want a huge flow of water. I just wanted it to do slow soaking, so this worked out best for us. The next thing we did was connect the nozzle to the rain barrel, and it worked out really well. We have the two connectors here. You can turn the water off and on, and it works out really, really well. So once we had all of that done, when we put it together, this shows you how the water can flow. This is a very weak flow, which we did have that because we were using our rain barrel. Now, if we set this up to our outside faucet, there's no doubt that the water would flow much faster. So what we did was I actually ended up buying a water regulator just because we were using a rain barrel and we have general water flow. But again, I wanted to have a slow soak of my veggies. We live in zone 8A and it is already hot here. And so I wanted to have a slow soak. I'm out in my garden working. I wanted to make sure that I was able to have the water just seep down. I didn't want a quick spray. I didn't want to leave it there for, a short amount of time. I just wanted it to drip with no problem. The next thing that we did, this is how it connects to the faucet, or that's what's on our rain barrel. And then we have two connectors here. So we have two separate lines, which are your hoses, and we snip the hose. We have one line going to the tomatoes, and then we actually have a second line that is going to another part of that garden, and then we actually connected it to a third part that's going to the garden. So this is flexible in how you use your tubing. You're able to cut your hose down to how the size that you need it for your specific garden. And then with all the nozzles, it just works out really well. So this is what ours looks like. It generally looks like this. And we have our dripper laying on the side so that it can, again, go down into, we don't want the tomato plants to get wet, because you know how tomato plants are when they get wet. So we're keeping this at the base of the plant. And here is what you can use these for. You can use it for your vegetable garden, your greenhouse, your flower bed, or your lawn. We only are using this for our vegetable garden, but it's working out so far so good for us. And we do appreciate having this system in place. So again, this drip irrigation system, it came with all types of things. There were a ton of these. I think we got the 20, because I wanted to make sure that I could expand to the whole garden from where the rain barrel was set up. And of course, Mr. Jerome put that rain barrel up for us. So we are going to share with you, Jackson and I putting together this system. Again, it's an easy system to put together. You just have to go back and make sure that you're following the directions. Measure out how much tubing you need, snip the tube, put the connector in, and then connect either your nozzle or your dripper. Connect your Y piece to your faucet, and then just turn these little valves right here. You would actually turn those valves on to let the water run, or you can turn the valves off to shut the water off. So jump in with us as we share with you this video. Don't forget that we'll have a code down in the description box below for you to get a discount if you are a first-time purchaser from TEMU. And again, thank you, TEMU, so much for sponsoring today's video.
Hey everybody, welcome back to our channel and welcome back to another video. I'd like to thank TEMU for sponsoring today's video. You guys, this one is going to be a project. We are outside in our garden and we have a 3 to 4, maybe even more times larger garden than we have had in the past, and watering is always our trouble area. With our schedule, we don't always get to water as much as we like to. And it's just, it's very difficult to be able to get out and hand water. So we're very thankful to TEMU, who sent us this irrigation system. This is a simple install of an irrigation system. It consists of wire tubing and then a piece that goes on or connects to the watering can. And the rain barrel. Mr. Jerome put us a rain barrel in. And what you do is, or what we did was, we ran the tubing beneath our tomato cages so that they would be connected to where the tomatoes are. And you're going to see, this is a 2-day project. We watched several videos on YouTube on how to install the system. Once we got the gist of how the pieces connected, and that there were some extra pieces, because depending on the size of our faucet, they sent us an extra piece, which we didn't actually end up needing, but the install went in very easily. So for those of you who are unfamiliar with TEMU, TEMU is an online marketplace that offers the most competitively priced items to include fashion, decor, jewelry, home, pet supplies, and garden supplies. The products are on average 50% cheaper than identical products on similar shopping sites. And if you all jump over and use the code, you'll be able to get up to 90% off of your first TEMU order. We've used TEMU when we weren't doing sponsored content. to pick up several items clothing wise, Alana as well as myself, and we have loved them. So this first day really was about setting the tubing, the plastic tubing, and that's because we were trying to intricately place it within the garden so that it was able to be right where the plants were so that they can get the most water. And Jackson is kind of my go-to guy. He helps me in the garden quite a lot, and I'm always blessed to have him out there with me. While we were out here, I decided to get a little bit of weeding done, and of course I'm using my TEMU weeding gloves. They have the claws on the end, which makes it very easy to get down into the dirt and underneath the weeds and pull them out. And then we will also, because some of my peas were leaning, we do have pea pods on the peas because they were on the ground. We did take some time to stake up those peas. Now, after the first day, this is what we had. So for some reason, I did not get the memo correct of how I was supposed to place this nodule inside of the tubing. So we did have some water coming out, but it wasn't flowing the way it should have. And so it took me to watch one more video, and I then was able to properly place the nodules on the tubing, and it worked out really well. But this was day one, and so we actually finished up just laying out the tubing, and then I went in with my these little pins that I got from TEMU as well to go ahead and stake up my tomatoes, because even though these started out very small, they are now escaping the cage. And so what I'm doing is I'm taking these, they're like plastic twisty ties, but they're hard, and I'm putting them around my tomato cages. Now this is day number 2 after I figured out how to get the tubing set. So this is it's not hard, but it's a solid tubing. It comes with these little connector pieces, and you cut the tubing right where you want to connect the piece, and you put the little nodule on the end. Then after you have cut the 2 pieces and you put the connector in the middle, the nodule is then put right up near the root of the plant. This I found was the best for a good soak of your plants. And what I think I'm going to do is on the days that I need to go ahead and water, I'm going to make sure that the rain barrel is full. And then we're just going to turn on the water to the irrigation system and let it soak. This was the best for us because we were actually trying to make sure we were getting water to all the plants. So we had the water running while we were working through the tubing. And those plants got a nice and good soak. We don't get a lot of rain here. It just depends. So these tomatoes will need quite a bit of water. And sometimes just doing a topical watering does not do what it needs to do. So I figure if we make sure that the rain barrel is full, then we can definitely just leave the sprinklers on for a slow soak. And here I am just staking down that nodule, and you'll see in just a little bit that the water is flowing, and it just makes it so much easier for us. Again, we have busy schedules, and this was so easy that even Jackson could do it. It was a simple clip the hose, connect the connector, and that was like the game changer. It helped us to go really fast and get the irrigation system in. And again, like I said, Jackson is my helper, so he usually is the one in the garden who helps me. Alana does a lot of the watering, but a lot of the hands-on weeding and that type of thing, Jackson usually helps me do those types of things. Sister doesn't mind watering, and she actually harvests a lot of things for me, but we're usually out there together. So here we are now, just making sure that we have that nodule, and you can see the water flowing. We wanted it to be right up against the root of that plant, or as close as we could get it to the base of the plant, so that because it's doing a slow soak, it will drip down into the all of the soil and get down to the roots. We do need to water these plants quite often, so you'll see there, Jackson's just showing how the water's coming out. It doesn't come out in a gush, because I found out when you do it in a gush, it just pushes the soil around and you really don't get a good soak to the plants. And so we just wanted to make sure we were getting a good soak to these plants. So again, try TEMU. They are, again, an online marketplace. They have all kinds of stuff, and it's very affordable. Using our code, you're able to get 90% off on your very first TEMU order. It is very well worth it. You're already getting these items at a discounted price, but with TEMU discount code, you get additional off. We just thought we would take you all through the rest of our garden just so you can see how the plants are progressing. And I can see the water coming off of those tomato and pepper beds. Right now, this is what we have going on in our garden. The irrigation system is going to help us tremendously. We do appreciate you all for stopping by. If you like the video, be sure and give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't, and we'll see you next time. Bye now.